Hey, welcome to another video. So today we're going to be going into the Taken of Titan's Depths. But before we begin, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Sith Citadel Discord, links in the description, and consider becoming a join member or sending a super thanks if you wish to further support the channel. Otherwise, let's jump straight into it. Following the Witness's arrival, and the Guardians combating Callus and his Shadow Legion forces on both Earth and Neptune, the Traveler would be claimed by the use of a para-casual entity called the Veil to create a gateway upon it. After months of fighting the Shadow Legion and failed attempts to follow the Witness, the Vanguard received a distress call from Titan, from the Deputy Commander Sloane, who had been missing since the moon's disappearance following the Pyramid's arrival. With haste, Zavala gathers Saint 14, Lord Saladin, and the Guardian to head to Titan and bring Sloane home. Arriving at Sloane's last known position at the New Pacific Archaeology, the team finds an area that's eerily quiet, but as the Guardian headed towards the communications array to pinpoint Sloane's location, they come under assault from the Taken and Hive. During this, the Drifter makes a surprise appearance, after taking notice in Titan's return, also looking for Sloane's whereabouts. As they fight off their attackers, they hear the thundering voice of Xivu herself, taunting them. As the Guardian attempts to silence the Hive War God's battle song, they encounter another celebrant of Xivu, Ashradat, but it escapes, leaving the Guardian to finish their task in realigning the communications array. However, they discover that Sloane's location is pinpointed 1 kilometer down into the methane ocean, where the pressure would likely kill anyone. With Zavala's insistence, the Drifter lends the Guardians some aquatic devices that allow them to survive in the pressure for a brief period. The devices worked, as hoped, and find Sloane, though partially corrupted with Taken energies, along with a massive creature the Deputy Commander claimed is named Asha, and who the distress signal was actually for. Sloane states that Asha saved her life when Titan was taken by the Witness, almost being possessed by Xivu when her Taken affliction began, and claims she is an old enemy of the Witness. Further, her Taken affliction not only allows her to be turned into the enemy's radio, but also communicate with Asha, albeit very briefly, and Asha has some very important information to share with the Guardians. With the Drifter's expertise, his use of gambit tech, and of underwater coral plant that bears the same physic properties as the Erigor, the Vanguard believes they can strengthen Sloane's connection to Asha, for her to interpret her messages. Their first mission involved finding more of the coral plant within the methane seas and locating a fallen servitor, J4WS, Wrathhunter's servitor, that Xivu Wrathborn had taken control over. Delving deep into the methane seas with a Golden Age version of the gear the Drifter gave them, the Guardians are able to locate the servitor, after using Sloane herself as bait, destroy it, and gain the Igor coral they need, allowing Sloane to intercept and interpret Asha's first message. Said message involved an oasis in the desert of travelers and wanderers, and the first of those claimed by the deep, the first victims of the Witness. In addition to helping Sloane, the Guardians conducted salvage operations in the methane seas on both the Vanguard's and Drifter's behalf. During one such salvage operation, they encounter Ashradat once more. Despite Ashradat's power and the Hive supporting him, the Guardians slayed the latest Xivu celebrants. The Guardians would also face old foes, but Xivu had risen and made Taken, such as Valkower, but were not enough to stop the Guardians' efforts. After gathering more salvage for the Drifter to tune his gambit device, Sloane directs the Guardians back to the depths to find more coral Igor, with Saint 14 providing tactical. As the Guardians worked their way down, they were swarmed by Xivu's Taken forces, but despite their efforts, the Guardians persevered, Sloane resisting the War God's taunts and managed to reach the seafloor, where they confront Khazudad, the Binder of Savathun, the former field leader of the Witch Queen, now twisted to serve Xivu. Despite the wizard's power, the Guardian managed to slay Khazudad and gather the coral they need. Using it, Sloane is able to interpret Asha's the second part of her message, speaking about a city of light, and a silent God withholding a deeper truth. However, the experience of the message takes a toll on the Deputy Commander, to the concern of both Zavala and Saint 14. In time, the Vanguard had located a new area of Titan's depths that possessed untouched exegol coral, but their movements were noticed by Zevarath's forces, leading them to move in and try to claim the coral themselves. Racing towards the depths, the Guardians encountered Taken under Zevarath and found they were corrupting the coral before the Guardians could reach them. However, using the Drifter's tech, the Guardians were able to purify the coral as they take out the Taken. During this, Sloane noticed she was being pursued by a Taken Knight, which he briefly fought off before it disappeared. The Guardians themselves would confront this Taken Knight, revealed to be Kel'Garath, who allowed himself to be taken to continue his devoted service to the Hive God of War. Yet despite Kel'Garath's persistence and Taken powers, the Guardians prevailed, slaying Kel'Garath and collecting the coral. With the coral, Sloane was able to better connect with Asha, taking less of a toll on her, and interprets her next message. Said message spoke of a promise of something more, two halves of a whole, long divided. Later on, the Drifter would inform the Guardian that his salvage they collected from Titan's depths had been put to good use, but to complete it, he needs a different piece of technology, pyramid tech. He directs them to travel to Savathun's throne world and secure pieces of pyramid tech that the Scorn had been acquiring from the Rukul's sunken pyramid. With it, he can modify his extraction equipment to work in the deepest trenches of the Kraken Mare. Traveling to the quagmire of the Witch Queen's realm, the Guardian succeeds in gathering amorphous alloys from the Scorn. After another deep dive mission and gathering exegol coral, Sloane interprets the next part of Asha's message, which spoke of calamity and a wordless denial, a fleeing god, betrayal and escape, the pursuit for the final shape. The Drifter would continue to tune his machine to strengthen Sloane's connection to Asha. However, to make it work better, he asked the Guardians to gain more pyramid salvage, but most importantly, he has the Guardians hunt for something of the light, which specifically components of a hive ghost. Traveling to the Witch Queen's throne world once more, pillaging the sunken pyramid, and hunting for a hive light bearer, the Guardians return to the Drifter, who uses the new components of his device to enhance Sloane's connection. This time, Sloane and Asha's minds become one, allowing Asha to speak with Sloane's voice for only a few moments to speak of the most important segment of her message, the Witness's origins. In this very distant past, the first victims of the Witness were Asha, as she described a people not unlike humanity, struggling on a hostile world that would ultimately find the Traveler, giving it the name the Gardener, turning their world into a paradise and began a golden age that would last eons. However, the Traveler never spoke to them or offered guidance as the people began to crave meaning in their lives, a purpose. In time, as they studied the light, they encountered an entity that was connected to the Traveler, the Veil, and their study on it led to commune with the darkness. The power of thought and consciousness for the first time, concluding that the light was a force of chaos. However, they believed that by using the Veil and the Traveler together, they could bring order to the chaos, a perfect reality that they would call the final shape. The Traveler, however, refused to let this happen, and thus fled with the people, remained determined to enact their goal. Using the power of the darkness, the people merged their entire civilization's consciousness into a single unfathomable being, the Witness. Said being would embark on its crusade to find the Traveler and the Veil to fulfill its ambitions in enacting the final shape. And after billions of years, it is now close to reaching its goal. Sloane is left reeling at not just the strain of the message, but at the knowledge of the Witness's origins and desire for a purpose, to find meaning in a meaningless universe. Nonetheless, Asha's message gives the Guardians the knowledge of their foe few possess, and the hope that Asha may also be able to give some intel on how to follow the Witness through the portal, thus resolving to continue their mission on Titan. However, following a recent dive, Saladin took immediate notice that the Guardians did their salvage missions. Zevarath had struck, conducting a ritual against Asha, leading her to leave the safety of Kraken Mare, to disrupt their ritual and end up being captured. Gathering Zavala, Drifter, Sloane, Saint 14, and the Guardian, the group mount a rescue mission. Saladin manages to track Asha's location and organize the group to divert Zivarath's forces to create an opening for the Guardian to breach through and reach Asha. Gathering his Iron War Beasts as backup, Saladin launches the mission, but as the Guardian delves deeper and closer to Asha's position, Sloane feels Asha's pain as a result of their link. Discovering that ritual Zivarath is conducting is meant to take Asha. Racing to the ritual site, the Guardian confronts the ritual's handlers, 3 wizards, each bearing the title Scream of Zivarath, who were using corrupted coral to the catalyst of their ritual. Despite the Hive and Taken's efforts, the Guardians slay the Screams and using Drifter's machine purifies the coral, actually wounding Zivarath in the process. With the Iron Warbeast's support, the Guardian manages to disrupt the ritual and save Asha from being taken, leading the group to clear their zones before Drifter had Asha, Sloane, Zavala, and the Guardian transmit back to the base. Back at the safety of the Arcologies and Zivarath's forces in full retreat, Sloane finishes the mission by interrupting the last part of Asha's message, but is nearly possessed and taken by Zivarath. Fortunately, Zavala is able to reach Sloane, getting the deputy commander to regain herself and interpret the message. The way to the witness may be blocking, but one may know of a way to reach it. She who hides truth in deception. Savathun, the Witch Queen, leaving the Guardian and Zavala shaken. The finished message strained her and wounded from the ritual attempt, leads Asha to enter hibernation. However, the knowledge that the only method for the Vanguard to follow the witness through the portal is to rely on the Witch Queen, which means they have to allow her to be revived. This plan leaves both Saladin and Saint 14 incredulous, believing that bringing Savathun back is a huge mistake. Zavala, however, believes there's no other way, and he claims that Eris and Ikora have a method to ensure the Witch Queen will remain captive even when revived. But this does little to ease his fellow Titans or even the Guardian, citing that Amaru will not be fooled into a trap. Zavala, however, states that it won't be a trap but a bargain. He gets his Lightbearer back, while they get the answers they need to enter the portal to follow the witness. Still heavily wary, Saladin departs to inform Empress Cattle of this development, while Saint 14 promises that if the Witch Queen strays for even a moment, he will strike, something which Zavala understands and accepts. So, what did you guys think of the Taken of Titan's Depths? Please let me know in the comments down below. If you haven't already, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Sith Citadel Discord, links in the description, and consider becoming a join member or sending a super thanks if you wish to further support the channel. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.